We're going to start briefly with that employee contribution that I mentioned, just because I wanted to make sure you are aware of those numbers. This is a percentage of gross wages per pay period with an annualized cap. So for 2023, employees may contribute 0.455%. So a little less than 0.5% of their wages per pay period, up to the annual maximum $399.43. The way this works, again, the employer is going to make a deduction from the employee's paycheck. You can deduct up to 0.455% of their total pay from each pay period until you have deducted $399.43 for the year, at which point you may deduct no more. You don't have to allocate the deductions over the course of the whole year in consideration of the cap. Hypothetically, if someone made enough money in 1 or 2 pay periods, you could deduct the entire $399.43 in the first 1 or 2 pay periods of the year. You just could then no longer make any deductions. As I mentioned, employers don't all take this deduction. The employer generally is writing the check to the insurance company, and if the employer doesn't take the money from employees, then that just means it's now becoming an employer paid benefit rather than an employee paid benefit. The state law envisions it being an employee paid benefit, but does not have any particular objection if the employer pays. As I did before with the benefit rates, I just want to show the contribution rate. This is the first year that the contribution rate has gone down. The reason the contribution rate has gone down is primarily because the last 2 years the state applied a COVID premium because there was additional utilization related to the COVID pandemic. So there was a COVID premium of I think it was 0.05%. So that basically the whole difference between the number from the last 2 years to this year. Other than that, it looks like the system is kind of leveling out at this 0.5% rate or thereabouts. Obviously, it started much lower. Part of the reason it started much lower was the maximum benefits were lower, both on a percentage basis and because the average weekly wage was lower. So this is subject to change every year. The state has to do calculations and set this rate, but this is a statewide rate. It doesn't matter which insurance company you get your paid family leave coverage from. This is the rate that is charged. It then generates a maximum annual contribution of, as I said before, $399.43. Again, this is down almost $25 from last year, but still up considerably from what employees were having deducted in the first couple of years. So certainly the last 3 years now, employees are probably noticing the deduction more than they would have been in years 1 and 2.